Alright, got my sheet of ply up on some trestles, got my set of drawings to go off. First step is to mark out all the parts and I'll start cutting. Now the drawings that I'm using are just a set that I've drawn up myself using Fusion 360. So I've got all my dimensions and stuff on there. Now both of the panels are 800 by 500, so I'll fit them into this end of the sheet here. This is just a 1200 by 2.4 sheet of plywood, 12mm thick and non-structural. And I'll measure from each end so that I keep the factory edge on the outside for each panel. Okay, so I've managed to fit everything into, you probably can't see the lines on there. So the panels are 800mm wide by 500mm width for both the base and the top, which leaves me a section in the middle of about 180mm to get the other parts out, which is this piece here. Alright, now I've got my two main panels, which are both 500 by 800, which make up the top fence piece and the base of the fence. And then these rear supports will be cut out of this centre offcut. Now I've just changed over to a chamfer type bit, one with the little bearing on the end, and that is to capture that chamfer detail there. So on the front and the back there's a 6mm chamfer to give it a little bit of a ramp so there's no sharp edge there. Now what I'm going to do is use this offcut piece of plywood here to make a template for the slots in the fence. So I'll make a template basically that big, which I'll then use to mark them all out, and then I'll use this router bit which has a little bearing on the end to then cut out each slot with the template, so they should all end up exactly the same. That's the plan anyway. Right, now I've got my template, which is the exact size of the slots. That'll line up with the bottom of the sheet. The edges will line up with the side of the sheet or the edge of a slot, and I'll be able to use that to mark all of my slots. Alright, that's all of the slots cut out, the fence panel. Let's go around and tie it up and start putting it together. Alright, it's time to start putting it together. I'm going to be using 30mm 16 gauge finishing nails and PVA wood glue to join it all together. Alright, I'm going to start by sticking the supports to these pieces to the upright, stick them on each side, and then I'll stick this piece to the base. Alright, next step is to chuck a bit of varnish on there. And I'll just be using a clear satin varnish. And now we wait. Alright, now we'll leave that to dry for a few hours and then come back and glue like a rubber grip to the bottom so it can't slide around. Alright, now that it's all dry, I'm just going to glue a non-slip mat. It's this black rubbery stuff to the base so it can't slide around, and just use the same PVA glue to glue it down.